DoorDash just made a $3.6 billion move that nobody saw coming. A full bid to buy Deliveroo. And it's not just about getting bigger, it's about survival. Because when you peel back the numbers, what you're really seeing is a narrative shift. Today we're breaking down DoorDash's surprise move, why Deliveroo is a way bigger piece of the puzzle than people realize, what Deliveroo is, and how this sets up the next chapter of the food delivery wars. If you're still looking at these companies thinking that it's just about market share or delivery fees, you're missing it. The real story, it's about positioning for the future and is playing out in real time. Let's break it down. If you're not super familiar with Deliveroo, it is basically the DoorDash of Europe. They operate in about 10 countries including the UK, Ireland, France, Italy, and some parts of Asia. They're partnered with tens of thousands of restaurants from local shops to big global chains. And after years of battling thin margins and brutal competition, Deliveroo finally turned their first full year profit 2 years ago in 2023. In the UK especially, Deliveroo isn't just a name, it's a verb. You don't just order your food, you Deliveroo it, like Uber. That kind of brand power is exactly what DoorDash is looking to buy. They're not just buying operations, they're buying recognition, loyalty, and market penetration they couldn't build fast enough on their own. This is why DoorDash just dropped a $3.6 billion offer to buy Deliveroo. DoorDash already owns the US food delivery game. That's right, DoorDash holds around 65% of the US market share for food delivery. Uber Eats is second with around 25%. But internationally, Uber Eats is running laps around them, operating in more cities, more countries, and serving a larger global user base with almost 2x the active monthly users. Which is why even though DoorDash has a majority of the US market share, they actually generated less revenue than Uber Eats by $3 billion in 2024. DoorDash is seeing the writing on the wall. If you want to survive the next phase of food delivery, you can't be a US-only brand anymore. Uber is global. Grubhub sold, Instacart pivoted to grocery. If DoorDash stays regional, they cap their upside. Deliveroo solves that problem. Instant international presence, established user base, low cost of entry compared to trying to build from scratch. And if they delegate Deliveroo the right way, DoorDash could become a real global contender, not just Uber's little brother anymore. But remember, it's not just about expanding delivery zones, it's about who owns the consumer relationship across geographies. Uber is just a more well-known name right now. That's the narrative DoorDash is trying to flip. So here's the real question. Can Deliveroo actually give DoorDash the edge it needs to level up globally? Maybe, but it's not guaranteed. Deliveroo brings a lot to the table: strong brand in Europe, loyal customers, profitable operations, and key partnerships with big chains like McDonald's and grocery retailers. It's way faster for DoorDash to buy that footprint than try to build it market by market from scratch. But just slapping a DoorDash logo on Deliveroo's app doesn't automatically win the battle. They'll have to integrate operations without losing customers, keep local restaurant partners happy, navigate way tougher regulatory environments, compete against Uber, who already has a head start and brand dominance internationally. And Deliveroo's home turf, Europe, isn't the US. Consumers there are more price sensitive, governments are more aggressive about regulating gig work, and margins are already thinner. So yeah, Deliveroo could be the edge that DoorDash needs, or it could turn into a multi-billion-dollar headache if not managed the right way. It's all going to come down to execution. Both Uber and DoorDash are fighting uphill battles right now, and not just against each other. Because food delivery isn't the easy gold mine it used to be. Consumer spending is cooling off, people are getting tired of paying extra fees, and inflation's making even small orders feel expensive. Plus, regulators are circling. In the US, cities are cracking down on delivery fees and worker rights. In Europe, labor laws are tightening around gig work, and globally, governments are asking tougher questions about competition and monopolies. Both companies are stuck balancing growth with profitability, and that's not an easy game when your customers want cheaper delivery and your drivers want higher pay. So yeah, DoorDash and Uber might be playing offense with acquisitions and expansions, but behind the scenes, they're both still trying to survive a market that's shifting underneath their feet. So what does this all mean if you're looking at the stocks right now? For DoorDash, the Deliveroo deal is high risk, high reward. They pull it off. If they integrate Deliveroo cleanly, keep their users, and start scaling globally, they could finally shake the only big in the US label. But if the integration gets messy, if regulators slow them down, or if margins get even thinner overseas, this $3.6 billion move could turn into a major weight on the stock. For Uber, it's a different story. Uber already owns the global narrative, and they're diversified. Rideshare, food delivery, freight, even Uber for businesses. If DoorDash stumbles trying to go global, Uber just gets even stronger by default. This isn't just about who delivers your dinner faster, it's about who wins the consumer city by city, country by country. for the next decade. For Uber, we are watching for a break and hold above $82.15, targeting $87 and above. For a dip buy, we are watching $76.95 to hold as a support for an entry, targeting $82 and above. For DoorDash, we are watching for a momentum entry upon a break and hold above $201, targeting $215 and above. A break and hold below $169 could signal a bearish entry, targeting $165 and below. If you want more breakdowns like this with trade setups, make sure you're locked into the Discord where we have trade alerts, coaching, live trading, and more. I'll see you there, but until then, as always, stay sharp, stay sane, and I hope that you all make some bread.